The United Nations has warned that trade between African countries continues to decline. A new report calls for changes in the continent's development models to ensure that it can sustain it at its current rates. Guy Henderson has the story.
It's no surprise that Chinese exports are slowing, but a drop of 3.1% in June has shocked the markets. Imports are down too in the world's second largest economy. Grim news at a time when investors are already beginning to refocus.
What traders did is they were able to borrow money in those countries at no interest rate, virtually interest rate, and they started to use that money and bought into emerging markets where interest rates were higher. So what are we seeing, if you can get the picture, is a reversal of that process. A reversal of the process where you're now selling the rand and you're selling bonds and taking it back to the United States.
While emerging powerhouses like Brazil struggle with public protests and rising inflation, the US dollar strengthens. America's main indexes hit record highs. It's led to talk of a possible rebalancing after more than a few years of stagnation in Western economies. For Africa, falling commodity prices are also likely to hurt. Although, as Barack Obama's visit here last month shows, the continent's still seen as a decent prospect, given its impressive growth rates. Analysts say that as a gateway, South Africa might prove more resilient than its BRICS partners.
One thing that South Africa does have going for it, it does have the rest of the continent as its market. And if the private sector in South Africa can gain momentum both here and in the rest of Africa, then I think South Africa is maybe better positioned in that sense. But that means though that there has to be more synergy between government and the corporate.
There are obstacles, though. For one thing, a new UN report out this week shows intra-African trade has been declining, despite an effort to boost it. That same report calls for African countries to up the value of their exports, and that is an area that it has been historically weak at. Now, investors are a fickle bunch, of course, so who's to say whether that money trail might yet reverse again? But if it does turn into something more, South Africa is quite well placed to weather the storm, but it's unlikely to be immune from it. Guy Henderson, CCTV, Johannesburg.